Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we can do one slightly different. Doku wants to talk about finance. I know, you're all shocked. I can see the amazement on all of your faces. Yes, Doku wants to talk about finance, and I'm going to sit back here and hopefully understand half of the shit he says. No, I don't care anymore. I just said the words. Yes, we do put tea in our milk, you heretic. And that's the Shirati. All yours, Doku. Try and follow that.
All right, so this is going to be talking about MMAT, metamaterials, and the spin-off, which would be the special dividend, MMTLP, which would be the Torchlight assets, and some news that we got at the end of the day, because I feel like I shot myself in my own foot mentioning this earlier. Meta likes to drop news on people without really any warning, and they usually do it closer to the end of market or after market. And lo and behold, today they did that. So the news in regarding this would be the special dividend and the Torchlight assets, which we're expecting a dividend payout once those assets are sold. Everybody's expecting their special dividend. Well, that's not quite the news we got. And upon hearing it, MMTLP subsequently dropped. Where did we end the day, actually? Let me go ahead and refresh this real quick. So, well, we ended the day at $1.36. That would be a 28.8% drop on the day. Not too hot, not too good at all. Because, to be honest, rather disappointing news. But let's go ahead and I'll screen share so we can just get the official statement out of the way.
Okay.
Just give me a brief moment here real quick, everybody. And there we go. Let's pop this up.
There you go.
So, news out of Halifax, Nova Scotia, AccessWire, December 3rd, 2021, from Metamaterials Incorporated, the company or Meta, trading on the NASDAQ ticker MMAT, FTSE MMA or FSE MMAT, a developer of high-performance functional materials and nanocomposites, today provided an update on the special Series A preferred stock dividend in relationship to the oil and gas assets and the planned sale or spin-out of these assets for the benefit of the Series A preferred stockholders. In conjunction with the release of Q3 and 9-month 2021 financial results on October 15th, 2021, Meta provided an update on the company's oil and gas assets and operations. We indicated that 4 wells must be drilled in the Oro Grande project in 2021 to enable the company to hold the lease for sale or spin-out. As part of our December update, the operations are well underway and the drilling is on track for completion later this month. The company believes that upon completing the work on these 4 wells, Meta will be in compliance with all aspects of its lease obligations and the CDC, continuous drilling clause, with university lands on the Oro Grande project will be satisfied. Completion of this work will, the company believes, enable us to move to the next steps in the spin-out process for those assets. This work includes, but is not limited to, formal transfer of the assets to Oilco Holdings, that would be our spin-out company, a newly formed wholly owned subsidiary of Meta, ensuring that Oilco capital structure supports a spin-out and making any necessary filings with the SEC. Meta is in the process of finalizing permanent arrangements with a completely new management team for Oilco, who bring significant experience in oil and gas exploration, as well as specific experience in the Oro Grande region. This likely means we might be seeing some of the old Torchlight crew come back, but that's just speculation on my part. This team is already consulting to Oilco, probably Torchlight team, and operating the Oro Grande project and has been very valuable to our efforts in the drilling process. Given the scope of the work required to ensure that we remain in compliance with the lease obligations and satisfy a range of regulatory requirements, the company is targeting a spin-out or disposition of oil and gas assets for early Q1 2022, pending process approvals by all parties involved. The company's objective has been and remains to ensure that the intrinsic value of these assets is maintained for the benefit of the Series A preferred stockholders of Meta, and that the assets or proceeds therefrom are transferred as rapidly as possible to the Series A preferred stockholders. We expect to provide additional updates upon completion of the drilling operations. I'm not going to read all this stuff as this is kind of important, but I'm not going to bore everybody with it. If you really want to know, you can go read it for yourself. So there's a few things to unpack here. First and foremost, this is not the best news to get, but it's not the worst. Most specifically, the company's objective is still maintaining that we get fair value. It's basically what they're saying right here. And they don't want to sell it for dirt cheap. They don't want to give us a $1.20 dividend or a $2 dividend. That's just going to piss people off. Not to say that this hasn't already pissed people off, but it's not the best news in the world. What we do know is that George Pilikaris did say that there were going to be multiple parties involved, and anytime there's multiple parties involved with selling assets like this, especially when the price of land and oil has already run up as much, finding buyers is not going to be the easiest thing to do. So, if you're operating on a time crunch, you usually have one of two options. You can either sell it for cheap, or you can hold out for a better deal. The other important thing is that they have to maintain compliance with these well drilling procedures. So they believe that they're in compliance. We know that this has already been going on. So what does this mean? The important part is right here. Spin out or disposition of the oil and gas assets for early Q1 2022. What that tells me is that, to be blunt, they couldn't offload the assets by the deadline. So rather than extend it, they just put it into a spinoff, and well, the land itself isn't really that developed, so maybe they want to develop it and sell it for a higher price. I don't know, against speculation. Or perhaps someone is actually interested in buying, but they don't want to buy it until you guys do the groundwork. Like, we're not going to do it. You do it. It's part of your leaseholding. Why should we shell out the money for it? We don't know all the details behind this, and I'm sure somebody else is going to do a much better analysis than I'm going to, because I'm just looking at this from the information I got right now. This isn't the worst news, but it's not the best either. There is already enough people, especially on social media, that were very irritated with the way Metamaterials and George has been handling not just the merger, but not giving us any forward guidance. And the reason they didn't want to give us guidance is probably because they knew this was going to be the outcome. So I guess if you're going to drop it, you might as well drop it on a Friday close to after hours, or close to the ending of the session, and let it roll into after hours and see what happens. Maybe Oilco is again just a placeholder. Maybe it becomes an asset or an acquisition target. I'm not happy about this. I know there's a lot of people on Twitter that are not happy about this. But at the end of the day, we know what the fair value of the assets are. I would rather them do this and still get fair value, which for what I've seen should be around 10 to 13 bucks. Some people say it's as high as 29 to 32. Some are even saying in the 40 range. I'm not holding my breath for that. But I'd rather them do this and I just have to wait until Q1 of next year, as opposed to them just sell it right now for a bargain and I only get like 3 to 5 bucks off of it. But that's just my opinion. I have no idea if that made any sense to you at all, Jensen.
You said words. They meant stuff. Seriously, dude. There's something to do with oil. That was pretty much all I understood, and there were lots of letters being thrown around. No, I'm not actually joking. That is pretty much all I understand. But hey, do you know what? It means something to you, and it means something to other people that understand this. So I'm going to do the most intelligent thing I can do here, and let's leave it to you because you obviously know what you're talking about, mate.
Well, basically, what happened is Metamaterials, which is not an oil and gas company, bought a company called Torchlight, which was an oil and gas company that has property in this region of Texas right here, the Oro Grande Basin.
Okay.
As part of their merger, because really the whole reason Metamaterials bought Torchlight is they wanted the Nasdaq seat, and they're not an ONG company. They're in the semiconductor sector, so they have to sell off these assets, which includes the land, the oil, mineral rights, and there's actually ranching rights. I forget her name. It's any meta people, they know who I'm talking about. It's the chick that wears the bird costume. She goes into far better detail and explains it far better than I could ever hope to do. But essentially what it means is that we have this land, we have the oil that's on the land, we have the mineral rights that are on the land. We need to sell it, and we want to sell it for fair value. It was supposed to be sold by December 28th with the option of this, rolling it over, or requesting an extension, which, considering the way the SEC has handled this whole merger in the first place, I don't blame them for going with a rollover into Oilco Holdings as opposed to requesting an extension, because to be blunt, the SEC is garbage. This is actually like the path of least resistance if they're not going to be able to meet the deadline and sell the assets for fair value. Again, I would rather them do this as opposed to selling it for $3 when we should be getting 10 to 13 at least, based upon the current price of oil and land and mineral rights. So this is not the worst thing in the world, but it does kind of suck. We were all kind of hoping for our cash dividend. You know, we wanted our Christmas gift, but hey, if you can't find a buyer, you can't find a buyer. So
Fair.
I
Can't argue
mean,
that.
yeah, again, for all we know, someone came like, yeah, knowing, I mean, if it was me, if I'm playing devil's advocate, if I was a company that wanted to acquire this land, knowing that it's not the most developed property in the world, but still has a good amount of oil and, you know, the mineral rights and land rights that come with it, yeah, I'd try to lowball you. I'd be like, yeah, I'll give you 5. It's like, oh, it's worth 13 to 20. It's like, nah, I'll give you 5. If they couldn't find anyone, they couldn't find anyone.
On your screen, you got a guy who's actually saying the name. I am not even wasting my time trying to say her name on YouTube. You can look at it your bloody self.
Yep. I always have a hard time pronouncing her name.
Oh no, I can actually pronouncing it easy. Ready? Bob. There you go.
Fine, it works. If you want to go watch her videos, yeah, she breaks this down much, much better. But again, yeah, this kind of sucks. This is not how I would like to start the month of December. But at the same time, at least I know that they're not selling the land and the asset holdings for cheaper than they should be. At a bare minimum, hold out for fair value. Or if you're really going to try to give a discount, I know Trading Secrets puts his estimate at 1360 to 1380, somewhere in that range. Don't sell for anything less than 10. That would be more of a kick in the pants if you ask me. So whatever. As far as I'm concerned, I was in this for the long haul to begin with. So okay, it is what it is. We'll take it, I guess. It's better than George just dumping the assets for $3 or $2 when we could have sold that several months ago and washed our hands of it, not had to worry about the stress and the sweat and the what ifs. So hopefully, since at least I'm committed, hopefully the waiting game and the patience pays off. And this was, for a lot of people, considered worst case scenario. I don't necessarily share that sentiment. I mean, hell, maybe they do complete these drilling projects because they say they're on track to do so. And if that's done, maybe somebody comes in and just puts in a bid and we acquire it. Maybe they actually do just sell Oilco before the end of the year. You never know. And crazier things have happened.
Question. What happens if they find something else on the land by pure bloody chance?
Well, that could there was a ground penetrating radar, and there are mineral rights to the land as well, which is also would explain why they say there's multiple parties involved. I know there's also talk of I know our favorite bird who does all the great breakdowns talks about the land can be used for wind, solar, geothermal, ranch land. There's mineral rights. There's oil itself, and so that explains the multiple parties, which could complicate the deal, which is maybe why they're doing this. Again, I don't trust the SEC to really do their job because we've seen how badly the stock has been manipulated. I mean, they had us listed as oil and gas after the Torchlight merger for months. It was we're semiconductors, we're oil and gas, but we're semiconductors, but we're oil and gas again. At this point in time, I just say, you know what? Just spin it off. Don't even try to bother with the SEC and the bureaucratic bullshit. Like, let's be honest. This again, this isn't the worst outcome. Although it did shake the market pretty bad in that last 40 minutes of trading. I actually turned around and I sold some of my assets. Specifically, I sold Annaly Capital and an ETF I was holding that was just basically going flat. I just went ahead and bought them on the dip at like $1.27 because you know what? Why not?
He almost said anally. Carry on.
And also, what's up, Patty? Yeah, again, this is one of those things where, of course, they would drop this information on a Friday at the end. So, I'll take advantage of the dip. I'll buy it. I'm not hot for the money. It's not like I need to pay my bills using it. So, let's see if my patience pays off. And if it doesn't, well, and I'm basically break even at this point in time. So worst case scenario, I get what it's trading for right now. So I can't really complain that much.
Fair.
We'll see. I don't know. But hey, that is what it is. Let me just go through this down here real quick just to make sure there's nothing very important I missed.
You do you, just for a sec. Batman, are you really going to let him get away with calling you that, dude? Wow, that's harsh. And MB, nice one, man. That is A+ just for that one comment. I love it.
Okay, so the forward-looking events and circumstances discussed in this release may not occur and could not differ materially as a result of known and unknown risk factors and uncertainties affecting the company, including, but not limited to, the ability of the company's management to focus on the disposition or spin-out of oil and gas assets, the capabilities of our facilities and the expansion thereof, research and development projects of the company, the market potential of the products of the company, the market position of the company, the scalability of the company's production ability, capacity for new consumer engagements, material selection program timeframes, the ability to reduce production costs, enhancement of materials manufacturing capabilities, and extend market reach into new applications and industries, the ability to accelerate commercialization plans, the possibility of new consumer contracts, the continued engagement of our employees, the technology industry, market strategic and operational activities, and management's ability to manage and operate the business not related to the oil and gas assets. This is the important part. So, because of this spinoff, this is not going to affect Metamaterials and their ability to do what it is Metamaterials does. OilCo is now a completely separate entity, so there's at least that silver lining, which they further give us at least some good guidance here, talking about how they're where was it? Finalizing permanent arrangements with a completely new management team for OilCo, who brings significant experience to the oil and gas exploration, as well as specific experience in the Oil Graham region. So at least we know without a doubt that Meta and MMTLP, now OilCo, are two separate entities. So one team can focus on getting this stuff taken care of, and Meta can go and do what Meta does. So there's your silver lining. Until then, I guess you're waiting until Q1 2022 to see what they do with these oil and gas assets. But at this point in time, I'm not going to sell at a loss. I'd rather just wait and see what happens with it. It could be
Okay,
worse.
fair. Just letting you know, I'm on the Molmen side. I hope they find more interesting stuff.
If they have more time to develop the land and the assets themselves, for all we know, it'll sell for more. You never know.
Fair. I mean, in all fairness, how much damage to, and I almost hate to say this based on more nowadays, but how much damage to the environment is this going to cause?
And the property's already there. It's not going to be any different. I mean, hell, they're already talking about trying to use it for a geothermal, wind, and solar. It's not going to be any different than anywhere else. So,
Okay. No, the reason I say it is, depending on how much damage done to the land, can't they actually then use the land for other things? I mean, literally use it for land, or are they going to completely wreck shit? Is what I'm wondering.
I highly doubt it. And
So
again,
which one? No, I gave you two options there, dude. Which one? Hide it out that they can use it, or hide it out that they can wreck shit.
oh no, they can still use the land. I mean, one of the big aspects for renting out the land, I forget exactly where it's. I don't know if it's said in this article, but no, it is. It's uh lease obligations. Yeah, university lands. And so a lot of times they do lease these lands out to ranchers. So it's not like they're going to just completely destroy the landscape.
Okay. All right. No, as I say, my point with it is they've got all this land. They're doing all their shit under the surface. I'm assuming we're talking some deep house drilling, not that near the surface. Am I correct?
Uh, I am not the right person to ask that question, but it's not. It's not going to be surface drilling. It's not like you're going to go trying to plow a field and all of a sudden black gold pops up.
That's pretty much what I was going to say. So why not actually use it? I almost dread to say this. Why not use it for low cost housing? Or
I
they going to be?
don't. I don't know if the lease obligation would allow for that.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't. I don't think it does. I believe it would be strictly ranch land, geothermal, wind, solar, mineral rights, and oil.
Okay. All right. Fair. Just look. You know me, I know absolutely bugger all about this. I'm just coming up with ideas of ways that they can actually get even more money from it. That was all.
Well, and again, it's not like the land itself is not worth a decent amount of money. I mean, plenty of people have done their number crunching, and yeah, I believe fair value is somewhere in the $13 range. But again, some people have projections as high as between 29, 32, maybe even as high as 40, 42. So again,
Doc-
it's a valuable plot of land.
Dr. Bollocks has a very important question to ask you. Can you bet on the furry markets?
I don't even know how to respond to that, Alex. I, if it was a few hours later and I was a few more beers deep, I might have a response for you.
I can always sort you out furry force the videos if you'd like.
Mm, no, no, I remember seeing those back when college humor was
Yep.
a thing. Like, no, it's not something I need to revisit. I appreciate the thought, but
Hey,
I will
but
pass.
but won't that be good for the land, providing all that fertilizer?
No, we're not. No, we're not.
What?
We're.
What? I didn't say
I,
nothing. Actually, hold up. Funny enough, I know this is not what you were talking about, but you know me, I don't care. Did you know that apparently your country is going to run out of fertilizer soon?
well, if we try to get rid of all the cows, then yeah, that would. Well, yeah, of
No,
course it
no,
will.
it's not actually just the cows. I'm actually being serious. Apparently, your country is actually going to run out of fertilizer soon. It's hitting over here as well. Apparently, Europe's currently going through a pretty bad time too.
Did
Just
they
letting
say
you.
why?
They did. I'm kind of scratching my memory here, but apparently they've not been doing something that would cause the fertilizer. Was it fertilizer? I think it was fertilizer. They're not doing something they need to actually make the fertilizer. I think it was the potash was what they were talking about.
Oh yeah. So back in my earlier investing days, I was invested in a company called actually literally potash, and then the other one would be terra nitrogen. So for fertilizer to be effective, it has to have a certain nitrogen content within it, and that requires time or a certain chemical composition or a certain chemical reaction in order for fertilizer to be good. And this takes time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably the nitrogen levels aren't up to what they need to be. Would be my guess. Obviously,
Okay.
I'm throwing a dart, but that's my educated
Oh yeah,
guess.
yeah. No worries, man. As I say, it's just something I happened to hear in the background while I was doing other things, and I took note because, well, you know, with fertilizer, it only takes addition of certain things, sugar being one of them, to make fertilizer really exciting.
Well, yeah, that's a bit of a different road, though. But I get what you're saying.
Hey, I'm just talking about the use of fertilizer, and technically, I'm looking at spreading said fertilizer.
I
Technically.
You would technically need that type of chemical compound in order to grow. Well, corn would be the big one. Corn is actually very nitrogen heavy.
Oh,
Or,
okay.
anyways, that pretty much sums it up for the MMAT MMTLP breakdown. So, yeah, let's see what happens with this one.
Like I said, I'm still hoping that they can find the mole people, and the mole people will move up and invade. We can always hope that that does happen.
You never know. You never know.
Let's be fair, mate. They'll do a better job than Brandon.
Yeah, you're not wrong there either. The one thing that does give me hope is they do say, since this is an official press release, that it's early Q1 2022. So I'm hoping that this is just them saying, like, yeah, we're not going to meet the deadline, and we're just going to roll it over into Q1 2022, so we don't have to deal with the SEC's nonsense, and then we can sell off the assets for fair value then. So we'll see if the people that decide to hold get rewarded for holding, and if not, then well, I guess we should have sold earlier today when it was $2.
Jacob, there's nothing wrong with rabbit Pokemon, so I don't see what your problem is. I mean, wouldn't you agree, Doku? Nothing wrong with a quick bunny.
You know, considering I sent you that very
That was him.
very
Don't blame
cursed
me.
very cursed Pokemon video earlier today, I don't have any comments for that. Just gotta pretend that never happened.
Well, all I can say to you, Doku, is caramel dancing. And he asked for that right there.
And that's going to be stuck in my head for the rest of the evening. I
You're welcome.
appreciate that, Jensen. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you are welcome, sir. I'll even sort out your Japanese one if you'd like.
You've already cursed me with that, so no need.
Okay. Oh, good. Dude, I'm just trying to help. Okay.
I'm sure you are.
Yes. All right. One thing I will point out while we have quite a few people here, on the 11th of this month, there will be a stream dedicated towards the wake of Dodge and Cabby. If you actually knew him, you are welcome here to to come along and see it. And to be honest, even if you didn't know him and you want to pop along, go ahead. Knock yourselves out. We will be doing approximately 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, Doku?
Hey, you know me, I'll be there because
I know, but this way I can actually give you times and dates and whatnot. Okay?
Yep, no, confirmed on my end.
Okay. Well, that was all I really wanted to say. So, have you done your bit? Okay.
Yep, we're done with that. That is the Metamaterials MMTLP, now known as Oilco update.
Okay. He said words. I still don't know what the hell he's talking about, but hey, he seems to know what he's talking about.
At least in the title, we said it's not the usual cup of tea, so they had fair warning.
True, true. But, you know, some of us, Shirati, definitely got a little bit confused when it came to tea. And oh, by the way, dude, oh, hello, Hammer Spud. Long time no see. Yeah, we end up talking about tea and coffee and stuff. Go back and look through some of our conversations. You'll find it funny. Okay.
Oh,
it
of course you
involves
did.
coffee.
Of course you did.
Of course
Although,
we did.
to be fair, I don't mind milk and coffee, actually, as long as it's Earl Grey or black.
Earl Grey coffee. What sort of heretic are you?
Oh, no, I was talking coffee.
You said coffee.
Oh, did I?
Yes.
Oh, well.
Heretic.
And now I'm kind of curious. Well, I wonder what Earl Grey coffee would be like.
Well, at the end of the day, it's a slightly citrus flavour, so technically a squirt of lemon in coffee, and when you finish vomiting, let me know.
At least, yeah, you know what? I'm just not going to comment on that one.
Good choice. Yep. But apart from that, is there any news that you can think of to go on about? If not, I think we'll call it here. A nice half-hour little you talking about lots of letters that still doesn't mean bugger all to me. But hey, what the hell?
I know there's news. It's just, do we want to talk about it is the real question.
Is it going to get us banned?
You know what? Let's go through the quick rundown. Seth Rogen is an asshole. Jesus Smollett is also an asshole.
A criminal.
And a criminal. Whoopi Goldberg is transphobic, apparently.
Interesting. Oh, did you hear? Did you hear about your man with the gun? What's his name? Shot the camera woman.
Oh yeah, Alec Baldwin. Apparently,
that's the boy. Yeah,
he didn't pull the trigger. Well, I actually made a tweet about this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of people going back and forth of, did he pull the trigger? Did he not pull the trigger? It doesn't matter. He didn't check the gun to make sure that it was safe. He still pointed it at someone. He violated all 4 rules. It doesn't matter if he pulled the trigger. Even if it was a single action revolver, he still had to either A, pull the hammer back, or B, the gun itself was not in functioning order, which means he was still in the wrong for not checking the safety of the firearm to begin with. It doesn't matter. He pointed the gun. It discharged. It killed 2 people. End of story. Case closed. Guy's guilty.
Breathe in.
No.
Personally, I think it was aliens. Aliens came down and possessed the gun. There you go. By the way, if he actually says that next week, I'm so sorry. I was joking, but he may use it as a defense.
It would be a better defense than any one he has right now. Just
ghosts.
Still a better defense.
Batman summing up with the gun was remote controlled.
Still technically a better defense than I didn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, honestly, at this point in time, anything you could come up with, no matter how outlandish and bombastic, is still better than I didn't pull the trigger. All right, well, the gun just happened to discharge at the very moment you were pointing it at someone?
Dude, it wasn't an AR-15. God, everyone knows only AR-15s do that.
Oh yeah, the Terminator military style semi-automatic assault rifle, and I mean we're
don't forget it's semi-automatic, pump action, fully burst auto
with a chainsaw bayonet. Those are the real dangerous ones.
Oh yeah.
And
God,
it's
a terrifying thought, isn't it? Actually, all of that in one gun.
It's almost as deadly as the self-driving burgundy SUVs that just randomly drive through police barricades and into parades.
Accidentally.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. It's an accident. It's self-driving accident.
Yeah. I bet you didn't know that there was a specialized version of the Tesla that people forgot to mention.
I didn't know they built them back that long ago because I saw that model, and that's definitely back from the 2000s. Someone's been hiding some technology somewhere. Either that or Skynet is far more advanced than we ever anticipated.
Okay. Terrifying concept. But yeah, they're talking bollocks. You know it, I know it, and to be completely honest, everyone knows it. But then again, the media is going to spin it, and yeah, it was Trump. He snuck on using an invisibility cloak, and he shot. Oh Jesus, they might actually use that. Ah, dude, you know what? They're probably actually going to have that as an excuse, and you know it.
Might as well just stop giving them ideas at this point in time. It's only
Yeah,
going to
I'm
get worse.
so sorry, people. That wasn't intentional. Jeez. Anyway,
Yeah,
if you go on.
I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. That apparently has been fun. I guess the little black book has been admitted into evidence, along with also a picture of Epstein with the Pope, and also I saw something about school girl outfits, and I didn't bother to look into it because I don't think I want to know.
Fair point. The idea of seeing, Epstein in a school outfit would probably make anyone throw up slightly in their mouth. Now you got to get that mental image out your head.
I've already seen the picture of Bill in the blue dress. I don't need to know.
Actually, Batman's right. You used the wrong nickname. It's actually the Little Book of Color. Thank you.
Oh, am I allowed? It's the BOC.
That's better. Yes, it's a Bok.
Oh, you know what? I only have one thing to say before we finish up this this little foray into the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Someone hit the oh, well, yes, let's go, Brandon. But also, someone hit the emergency brake. I want off the ride, and I want a full refund.
You know what? They can keep the goddamn money. Just let me off.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm just gonna steal a churro on my way out. A churro and a turkey leg.
Perfectly fair. In that case, as our resident expert has nothing more, I'm going to end it here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming out and listening to us dribble on for a little while. We will be returning to what passes for our normal insanity next time, I hope. Bye-bye, everyone.
Toodles.